What's up, everybody? It's your girl CC with Where It Begins Magazine, and I got my co-host Theo on the line with us today. Hey, Theo, how are you?
Hey, CC, I'm good as always, man. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. Happy Tuesday.
Hey, happy Tuesday, man. Listen, I'm excited. We got a dope brother on the line with us today, man. Funny individual. I'm definitely excited to see the flavor he's going to bring to the platform today.
Same here. I can't wait. So we're gonna go into it. I'm gonna let him introduce himself and who he is, where he's from, and what he does.
There it is.
Hey, how you guys doing? I'm Emmy-nominated Melvin Jackson Jr., actor, producer, comedian, director. They say I do it all. Listen, if God gives me the gifts, I'll step into it and do it. You know me from HBO show The Wire, CW's Everybody Hates Chris, and the BET story, New Edition story. And I'm here to be a part of this project, this process. Let the people know what's going on.
There it is. There it is. Thank you for being here.
Absolutely, thanks for having me.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your journey. Who motivated you to want to start this career?
Well, I would say my mom. My mom was really my first supporter, and she told me as a kid I can do anything I put my mind to, and I took it and ran with it. And it wasn't anything that I came to my mom with and say, "Hey, I want to do this." That she said no to. She was like, "All right, let's go." If I said I want to be an astronaut, she's like, "All right, when we going? When we going to the moon?" Type of situation. So she was just definitely, my biggest supporter, and still is my biggest supporter to this day. And I wouldn't be where I am without her. And her just instilling, that I could do it. And then my dad, my father was a jack of all trade, and he mastered them all. And it was just showing me about hard work, and you can do many things as long as you master them when you're doing it. People say jack of all trade, master of none. It's like, no, you try to be a jack of all trade and you master what you can, and the ones you're not good at, you put them to the side and go from there. So here I am.
There it is. Shout out to moms, man. Sometimes those supporters definitely come from the house, and they're our biggest person in our corner cheering and our biggest motivation. So shout out to moms for leading you to that. But obviously she gave you the wide open gambit, right? Like choose whatever you want to, whether you're going to the moon or going under sea or whatever you're gonna do with it. What made you land in this space? What made you get into the acting? What made you get into the comedy? What made you get into just that whole entertainment aspect of it?
I mean, I guess as a kid, I've always kind of been intrigued with the entertainment. I lived overseas in Pakistan and Turkey, and so when I was in Pakistan, I used to be in talent shows all the time. So just music has always been a part of my being, and I love dancing. I love entertaining, and so the first thing I fell in love with was really modeling, and then I also was managing artists at the time as well, and really just took it all serious. And acting came last. I didn't even think about being an actor. I was with the modeling agency, and they had me audition for a PSA, and I booked it. And I was like, from that point on, I was like, okay, I can see myself doing this. And I made money my first job, and that doesn't always happen as an actor. You got to go through the whole rat race. But it was just something I took very serious and started to pursue it, and loved it, man. And it just opened doors for other things to come.
Gotcha. So you made this declaration, right? You went off and started your path, and you started going down to entertainment. Tell me how that came about. Like obviously the talent shows, got your confidence up, but what was that first, I guess, official gig to where like this is 100%? Because we always got doubts in the back of our mind, even though we step out on these leaps of faith. But what was it that kind of secured you and said, this is my home and this is the space I'm gonna live in?
I would say definitely when I after booking the PSA and then going on to do extra work in movies, and then really the booking of role on Americans Most Wanted, which was like, that was a show back in there, and was a reenactment. And I was like, okay. And then from that point on, I was kind of like, The Wire was my favorite show. And I was like, man, I got to get on that show, and I wanted to get on as, speaking part from the jump. And, God had another vision for me. And that was, being behind the scenes and being an extra. They called me like 2 or 3 times, and I kept saying no, until one day I was like, you know what, maybe this guy tested me. Let me go ahead and do it. And so I was an extra in season 1 and maybe season 2, and auditioned 15 times before I finally got the role of Bernard in season 3. And it was nothing but God's divine how he planned it. And so that was, for me, was like, okay, now I'm solidified. Now I'm good, because this is a show, one of my favorite shows. It's a show that I know is gonna help elevate my career to the next level. And for me, that was like the stamp of approval. Like, okay, I'm working with Wood Harris, who I've watched since Above the Rim. Like, he was the first person I met on set as an extra, and me and him connected, exchanged numbers, and instantly became friends. And so to come back and now be a part of the Barksdale crew was like, come on, man. So it's almost like being an extra and being booking role was kind of like being a janitor of a company to being, a part of the the CEO or president or whatever. Like, it's just now I had a seat at the table. So I just really took that and ran with it.
Dope, man. Like that whole situation with The Wire, you were the younger stars to come on as it started to take on. Two questions for you. For one, what was it like to come on and see such success that came out of that program? But two, which probably should have been question number one, you mentioned America's Most Wanted, and then your stuff with The Wire as far as being an extra. Did little old ladies start to stop you at the grocery store and thinking that you were typecast, that criminal type of guy, when they were seeing you out?
No, because it's crazy, because I was the victim, but my friend who was the actual criminal in it, he got mistaken. They was about to call, they was calling the police. Hey, we found the guy, right? He's right here. And it was like, nah, dude, it's reenactment. So that's always the thing when people, think this person actually did it, and they were calling the police on them. So it's that wouldn't happen for me, because like I said, I was the victim. So okay. I wasn't in that situation.
Yeah, but obviously then you start to show up in The Wire, and people start to see your face associated with that situation. So what was it like kind of coming into it, being an extra, and then later on as the story and as the popularity started to progress, obviously you became one of the the bigger characters in it moving forward. What was that kind of like, seeing that progression?
It was a beautiful situation, because I got to sit back and I get to watch it all. Like, being an extra, it's one of those things where it's a humbling experience, because you're like almost last to eat. They call you in a hurry, you got to be ready, and you may be sitting there for 10-15 hours before they finally use you. So I just got a chance to really just sit and watch and see what everybody's job was. And I did what some extras are not supposed to do, and I sat with the cast.
Okay.
You're supposed to sit with the other extras, but I'm different like that. And so I sat with the cast and networking, and so by the time I got on the show, like, they knew me because I already kind of had been networking, and I made myself known, so to say. But it was definitely a great elevation, because I was in my trailer one day, and I was about to go get my food, and the guy was like, nah, I got you, I'm gonna go get your food. And I was like, oh, okay. What I mean? It was just that mindset, of someone, serving you for once. I'm always a person that's being a servant to other people, trying to, be a service. And so it was just like, that was a moment of like, wow, okay, now someone is actually being a service to me. And so I never took that for granted. I never got a big head about it, but I was just really was like, man, like, thank God. Like, I didn't take it for granted at all.
Good stuff. Good stuff. It's always good to hear those stories when people keep their head about it, and then, persevere and keep going after those type of projects end. So after you left that, talk to us about some of your works and some of your projects that you might be proud of, or that kind of went in a positive direction for you since then. I know, doing a little background on you, we were, peeping all the comedy stuff, that you had going on. Eddie Murphy clips kept coming up, and I was like, okay, this dude is a serious and a funny Eddie Murphy on it. But just tell us about some of the projects that you're proud of, that you've been a part of since then.
Well, I mean, definitely. I can't not talk about the No Dishes story. It was truly a blessing, because that was that was a circle of life moment for me. Like, No Audition was my favorite group. Is my favorite group, and it was the first concert I went to as a kid. And then to also work with Wood Harris again, who I work with in The Wire, and then it was just to work with Chris Robinson, who I've known for years, and just that story, man. And to play Curtis Blow. Like, I first found out about Curtis Blow through Crush Groove, and it's just like, Curtis Blow was that guy. Like, just to learn all the history, I'm like, man, this dude is the first, of many things. First commercial rapper, first rapper to go, like all these things you learned about. I'm just like, I gotta play him.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I gotta take it a little serious. And just it was a great project, one of the greatest experience I've had as an actor. And then some of the projects that I've written and produced myself and got a chance to work with my friends. This Eddie Murphy role is Mine Not Yours, which blessed me enough to be nominated for Emmy for. And so it was just truly a blessing because I looked up to Eddie Murphy. I look up to Eddie Murphy, and he's the reason I became an actor and started doing comedy. And just to be able to pay homage to someone you look up to, not idolize from people like I don't know, somebody I look up to, but definitely appreciate the path he's laid for people like myself, and want to just do something to pay homage, but also to have a little message in there too. It's like it's hard as an actor trying to go out for these roles when you think you're perfect for it and everyone else is saying you're perfect for it, but then you don't get the role. So I was like, what if you had the ability to take out your competition? So that's kind of how that whole idea came about. And so it went from, season 1 to season 2. And now I have a distribution deal for it, where it's a 2-part series on, that's available on Amazon, on Tubi, and IMDb TV, which is now, I think it's like freebie TV. They changed it.
Yeah, they did. They did.
But yeah, man, just that continue to put out content, and now I have a domestic violence documentary that's on All Black, that's being considered for the Emmy. It's called "I'm a Survivor, No Longer a Victim," and something that is a passion project of mine, and something that I didn't imagine that I would do, just because of the subject matter, and it's so tough to talk about. But I was able to pull together a great group of survivors and great group of people to help me get this project finished. And we have a finished product. And now, we on All Black for the next, 2 years until we, re-up our contract or something like that.
That's dope. That's dope. What's the inspiration behind that project? How did that even come about?
I went to an event. It was about domestic violence. It was at the Genesis Center, and Halle Berry was one of the speakers. She's one of the key component people behind the scenes with it. And I just was hearing these women's story about their abuse, and look at one woman who husband or ex-husband at the time had somebody throw acid on her, and just how she looked, and just hearing these stories, man, just kind of broke my heart, and it hit me in a different way. And I was just like, man, how can I be a part of this solution and not part of the problem? And so I decided I wanted to do this project. But it's easier said than done, because I now had to go out and get survivors. So it took me about 2, maybe 3 years to do it, because I came about this project, I want to say 2018, I think it came about 2000, and I didn't get it even out until this year, So it was definitely a process from, talking about it to then going in, and a year later getting, people involved, survivors, and then kind of sitting on it, then another year or so, getting someone to edit it, and it was just a process. But I'm happy about it, and people love it, and people are continuing to share it and talk about it. And I feel like that's the most thing, that's most important, is people continue to keep the conversation going about domestic violence, and not continue to throw a blanket over it and act like it doesn't exist, because it does, especially in our community. But just as a man, I feel like it's important for men to also help tell the story, not just women. And I also included men in the story, telling their stories of abuse.
That's deep. That's deep.
Definitely. Do you have any events coming up?
As far as what?
Anything, panels, premieres, anything that's going on for 2022, 2023?
No, not panels. Somebody talked about it. Definitely wanted to do panels and kind of tour with the project if possible. So that it's a thing that's constantly being talked about, that we just gotta put it together, because I would love to do a tour, show the documentary and talk about it, have Q&As about it, and just, like I said, do my part. I feel like I'm just a small piece of the puzzle. I really have to commend the survivors for being willing to share their story and trusting me with their stories. It's just a beautiful thing, because I watched it and I simply was in tears. Watching, I was like, I don't know if I can continue to watch it again because there's just so much. You think about people who've gone through something like this and how they are now and how they're still thriving and trying to heal and move forward. And some people have forgotten about some of their trauma, and they happen to watch it and like, oh wow, I forgot I even went through a domestic violence situation or anything that was traumatizing. So you just never know. Sometimes when God puts something on your heart to do and gives you a objective, he will find the means to get it done for. And I'm glad that it was able to get done and people are able to see this, and we continue to keep the conversation going.
Well, I can't wait to watch it. I got to see that.
Yeah.
And definitely the way you explain it and everything. And you said, when is this coming out?
It's out now. It's on All Black. So if you even go on Amazon, you can look it up, and it'll take you to All Black where you can do it like a subscription. I think it's like a 7-day free subscription. So you can definitely check it out there.
Okay.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah.
So it sounds like a lot of the stuff you do kind of has a message behind it, right? We love the entertainment or the arts that actually have a message and a purpose. What would you say kind of is your driving force behind having such a calling and a purpose to kind of put those messages in your media?
I feel like we need it. I mean, it's one thing to entertain, but like at the end of the day, what is the overall message? What are you portraying? Because it's good we can do these movies and the shoot 'em up, bang bang thing, but we've seen that. Why can't we share stories of people being smart, being beautiful, being walking in their purpose, and just really saying something? As the social media is flooded with negativity. People will post, oh, you see that all world star, whatever, like no shade, but it's just like people are always posting negativity. Well, don't we get to see some positive stuff, some positive images of us? Why do we always have to be diminished? Why do we always have to diminish each other? And so for me, it's like, I think it's important as my platform, as my musician that I have, is to help share messages. And I think that's, what it is. And for me, I just feel like you only have a small window sometimes. And if you can fit in that small window and make a difference, you'll continue to open that window so more people can come in, because there's so many great stories out there that people just don't know about. But it's because of people are so used to just getting the norm, the reality shows and the stuff that's just so ratchet and so hood and just putting us in a bad light, that we get so used to it that it's like we're going to be fed on it all the time, where it's like, yo, you don't know what you're doing to your spirit right now. You need to have some positive. You need to hear about the Stokely Carmichaels of the world. You need to hear about Malcolm X, how he grew up, how he became Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, how he became Martin Luther King. All these people who led the way, and now it's like all their hard work is just sometimes just being diminished because the young people are not taking the torch and going on, moving forward. It's still the older people out there. It's still Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton out there marching. You have your Tamika, what's her name? Tamika. Not Tamika Wright. What's the one that she Mallory, Tamika Mallory. You have people like that out there fighting the good fight. But it needs to be more of us, young people. And I think that it starts with the messages. It starts with what we put out into the world.
So let me ask you this: that we love when our people come on here and drop gems to kind of reach back for that young, inspiring entertainer, because nowadays they're not just an actor, right? It's a lot of independent movement going in the industry, so they're learning how to write their own stories, direct their own stories, film their own stories, as well as act and do those things. So for that young, inspiring entertainer that's looking to come up and has a story that they want to put out, what kind of gem or message can you give to them? Because obviously that's not the thing that they're used to seeing, coming across the big screen, but we are starting to see a lot more of it flood into the industry. So what's your gem to throw back to them?
My thing is, I always tell people, learn the business, do your homework. People always ask me, how do I be an actor out there? I said, do your homework. I mean, you can Google anything now. I was like, me, it's like, just like you in school, you're learning, go in and learn whatever it is you're trying to do and figure out how to do it. And if it's, you're looking to be an actor, I would tell somebody, start writing. If you're not a writer, give it a writer. Create your own project. If you're looking for something, you want to play a doctor, you want to play a lawyer, but you're not getting cast at that. Guess what? Now you got to write that, so shoot it, so you can put together to your reel. Like you got to do the labor so that you can make people see that you're serious about it and they can see it. Because sometimes you could be a great actor, but people don't see it if you don't put it out there. If you have no reel or you have nothing to show, you're just a person saying I'm a good actor. And I feel like you have to build your brand. I always tell people, build your brand, because what are you putting out there? What are you representing? If you're a female, are you just trying to show skin? Are you just trying to be in a bikini? Are you trying to get likes? Are you trying to get all views? Like what is it that you're conveying to the world when you're putting out your brand? And I just say, do your homework. Don't take no for answer, and don't wait on someone to make you successful or whatever you want to call it. Or I just don't wait on nobody, because waiting, you'll be waiting forever. If I was waiting for someone to cast me in something, I probably wouldn't be acting right now, doing what I'm doing, just because I said, you know what? I'm auditioning, but I'm not booking anything. What do? Do I stop acting? Do I just continue to wait? Or do I go and create projects for myself and others? I'm gonna go create. And that's what it was. It was just like I was doing projects back to back. And now those projects that I was putting out for free, now I was able to get distribution deals for them, take them down off those platforms, and now make money off of them.
Smart. That's smart. Yeah, definitely, man. With any of the entertainment, people don't realize it's the entertainment business or the music business, but it always ends with business, man. It might as well start with that, because if you don't have that foundation, you can't go a long way, and people will take advantage of you. So definitely thank you for those gems of dropping back, because I'm sure there's somebody out there that needs to hear that, man. They're thinking, I'm not getting booked for things. I'm not able to get cast in these different projects that I want to be a part of. And I think that hustler spirit and motivation needs to be within them to go out there, like you said, and get their own, create their own thing. And that'll lead to a bigger and better road if you keep pounding away at it.
You have to. I've seen so many people who started behind me and now they're ahead of me. And I clap, because it's like, for me, there's no ego. I'm like, oh man, it's like, it's good. That just means that they hustled, they worked hard to get to where they are. And I want people, that's what I want. I don't want people to continue to be on the same level with me or beneath me. Like, I want you to be above me, because I want you to be able to hire me if I need a job. Like, that's what it's about. I think sometimes people are so scared of someone taking their position. They want to give them the gems or give them the tool, the next thing to get them to the next level. When I'm like, I'm not afraid of no one taking my spot. If they take my spot, it wasn't my spot in the first place. I feel like there's so much room. There's so much room for us all to just continue to elevate and make money together and help each other. Like, I'm all for that. I'm all for, like, let's collectively, we're all trying to get the same thing. Why not come together, put all our ideas, all the things in one, and we'll support each other's project and support each other's dream or whatever it is. And I mean, look at the Wayne brothers, you know what I mean? Like, everybody support each other, and like in the Waynes, and just everybody is who's in the business are successful because they support each other.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah, my sports analogy is always using Magic and LeBron, right? Like, everybody know they could take over the game, but to be honest with you, the reason why they got to the levels that they got to is because they knew how to include the other people. Otherwise, people wouldn't care about you just showing off with the ball. They don't want to play with you.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
but I know, before we go into our game, I just want to know, what's a fun fact about yourself? I want to know the fun side. I know we got a little positivity the whole time, kind of.
Fun fact. I love to sing, but don't have the voice to sing. But I love doing karaoke. I'm always like ready to do karaoke. I'm the life of the party. Love to dance. Like, yeah, I'm that guy. I'm that guy you want around at your party to kind of get it started, you know. And I DJ now. I started really taking DJ serious during the pandemic, and like I've done like several. You know, I just did my first live event on Saturday, so it was really cool, and I love it, and I'm looking to do more.
All right.
I'll give you many fun facts.
there it is. There it is. You the karaoke dude that nobody wants to follow, because you up there trying to sing and dance, and you got people with you.
I kill it. I just do my mama said knock you out. I was like, let me stay in my lane, do my rap, boom, it's done.
Good stuff.
Oh, I would like to see that. That would be funny. It seemed like it'd be a funny man.
Nah, for sure.
But is it time for trivia, or?
We can take it into it, yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna both ask you one question apiece.
Okay.
I guess I'm gonna go with mine with, if you could talk to your younger self, what would you tell yourself?
Get ready for what you're about to walk into. Your
Mm.
purpose is bigger than you ever expected.
Mm.
I like that. Okay.
That's deep. That's deep. Yeah, but
Yeah.
your younger self is gonna be wondering, you know, what it was, and if you could truly go back and touch yourself, you might have actually taken over the whole world by now. Because
Yeah.
they say confidence does a lot, man. Confidence does a lot. Hey, but let me ask you my question. You mentioned the karaoke, right? So I'm gonna take you in a different direction.
Okay.
So you got a CBS deal. They want to hear one song karaoke special starring you. You get to do any song and bring any one person on the stage with you. What you singing and who you bringing?
um,
On that 8 p.m. slot, prime time.
um, um, I'm gonna go this because I'm gonna do Casanova and bring Gerald Levert.
Oh wow. Hey,
Well,
the
of course
great,
he's not living, so
yeah. But now the great Gerald Levert gets a lot of love here, man.
yeah.
Gets a lot of
Yeah,
love here. So
he
great
sure
choice.
does.
Great choice. I love it. Tell the people the social media or you know where to reach out to you, you know, and connect with you on your projects.
Melvin Jackson Jr. Everything: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, melvinjacksonjr.com. I am not a hard person to reach. You know, I definitely connect with the people, and I always just tell people, I said, man, you know, you can reach out to me, ask me questions. Just don't ask me crazy questions. Maybe like really, dog, come on. Like it's funny, people want me to share their music and stuff, and it's like I don't mind sharing people's stuff, like, but it just has to correlate with my brand. If
Mm-hmm.
I may listen to your music, but just because I listen to it, don't mean I'm gonna post it just because it's, you know, that thing. If you got a lot of cussing, you calling bees and that, like I can't do it. I'm gonna support and give you thumbs up. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm not, you know, I'm not gonna put it out there social media because I feel like that's not what my platform is representing. Although I support them, and, you know.
Okay.
There it is. There it is. Any additional jewels you want to you want to or a message you want to leave out to the fans?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you know, mental health is definitely something that we got to continue to talk about, continue to not laugh about, because it's a serious thing, you know, and a lot of people, you know, would laugh at Kanye West and things he's going through, and I just like, he's just like any one of us, you know. A lot of us are not public with our mental health issues, our depression, or whatever it is that we may be going through. I don't take it lightly, just because in 2014 I lost my father to suicide. So for me,
Mm.
you know, I became an advocate for mental health and suicide prevention, just because I feel like, you know, we'll ask people how you doing. They're like, yeah, I'm good. And but we don't ask them again, like, no, how you really doing? Because I
Mm-hmm.
think it's, we just get so used to not believing that people really care how we're doing. They just want to be like, oh, you good? Okay, great. Or if you
Yeah.
like, man, I'm doing good, they don't really have the time to listen. But if you really genuinely trying to hear this person and understand what they're going through, I'm always like, hey, how you doing? You're like, I'm good. I'm like, no, how you really doing? You good? Like, is there anything I need to pray about? And they're like, yeah, I need to pray. And it's like, that's just simple as that. And
Yeah.
you know, for me, I always feel like me going the extra mile with my father. Like I had a conversation with him, you know, hour or so before he took his life, and you know, I could have prayed with him and stayed on the phone, but that was my, you know, my lesson as far as like, now I know what to do in a situation, just because of, you know, I wouldn't know and wish that on anybody. You know,
Mm.
having to bury my father and do all those things, you know, was very hard, just because we talked every day, and you know, but he never want to put any burden on me. That's one thing about my father. And so I was just like, as men, we gotta stop trying to carry the weight of the world on our shoulders. Like, be vulnerable, be, you know, free to express your feelings and let somebody know if you need help or whatever it is. Like, I'm the first one, like, yeah, I need help, yeah, I need prayer, what you need, you know, because I'm always that guy that's different people. But there's
Mm.
times where I need, you know, I needed somebody. And so I think it's just important to continue to speak life into each other, and really, us Black men, like, we got to continue to build each other up. And you know, for me, I always trying to, you know, calling, hey, what's up, King? Always trying to make sure that we remember that we're royalty, and just kind of go from there, man. It's important. Like, I don't expect to change the world, but I expect to make a difference in people's lives I come in contact with on a daily basis. That's one of my goals. It's like, how can I make a difference in at least one person's life each day? Whether it's by my presence, whether it's what I do. Like, I'll be at work sometimes and I'll pray with people. and they don't expect it. I'm like, if whatever you're going through, I'm like, can I pray with you? And they're like, yeah. Or they'll be like, God bless you. And so, like, for me, it's like I'm not afraid to express my religion, express my love for God, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here. Like, I was a problem child. Like, I was the one that people wrote off. My mom constantly prayed over me. She constantly, anointed me with oil. It was like, I know my son has good in him. And so that allowed me to have faith. Like, man, like, why is she believing in me? Who is this God that she keep praying about, talking about? And that allowed me to be like, oh, okay, this is somebody I need to invite into my life too. And so he changed me. And so for me, it's like, it's not about being perfect. It's just about making a difference. At my funeral, I don't want people saying, oh, he was a great entertainer. He was not. That's cool, whatever. Like, it's like, no, how was he as a person? That's what's important. Like, how was I as a person? How did I affect your life? And I think I've done, my job is still not done, but I think I've done a great job of making sure that I, be a light and be a blessing to people I come in contact with. So I think it's, very important just to continue to be positive and be of love and be of, of just goodness, try to be a good person. I think that's one thing I can say. People were like, yo, Mel's a good dude. And I'm fine. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to make everybody like me, but I'm not going to try to make everybody hate me.
Yeah. But no, it's good stuff, man. It sounds like you know your light and you know your truth, and you're walking in that and carrying that with you and trying to spread that out to others, man. That, and my takeaway is check on your peoples, because you never know where a conversation can move somebody or keep them from moving too sometimes. So it's all in the plan. So definitely, man, appreciate you for taking time to rock with us today. Definitely much love, much success to the projects that you got coming out. Like I said, you got a dope message, you got a dope story. People familiar with your face, man. So definitely we want to see you keep moving up in the familiarity in everybody's house, man. You definitely got some fans over here.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you. Appreciate you guys.
Well, I definitely want to say thanks for interviewing with us. Like I said, like how Theo said, it's been a pleasure to get to know you, and all the gems you dropped, I took it in. I mean, you're a dope person, keep up the positive energy, keep going that way. And I wish you nothing but, the best for 2022.
Yes. And definitely spread the word about my documentary. I'm a Survivor, No Longer a Victim. It's being considered for Emmy nomination for outstanding documentary or nonfiction special. So definitely pray, fingers crossed, prayers up that we get a nomination for this project, because it's definitely much needed.
There it is. There it is. Spread the word, man. It's a good purpose. So everybody go out and check that out.
And I definitely will. Well, you have a happy Tuesday. Be blessed and be safe.
Yes, you guys too. Be safe.
There it is. Thank you, sir.
Huh?